Hey everyone, I am live. I'm alive and I'm live. Okay, let's see here. Gonna make sure everybody can hear me. Want to just hop on here. I'm gonna be doing Demi Colour today. I'm so excited. I'm always excited to go live, but it's been so crazy lately just because of the move and everything. But I'm trying something awesome and different today where I'm doing stars with Facebook. They it's in beta testing and they're having me do it with them. So if you like what you see today, if you will give me some stars, I would love that so much. Look, I broke my nail. So sad. Here's my Demi Colour nails. They're going bye-bye soon. They're so grown out. But I broke one. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know if this new farm life is going to fit me so well with the nails. So I got to work out something else. All right. I want to make sure I can see comments. So hi. Somebody say hi. Hi, Ashley, Mary, Victoria. You guys. Who's ready to see some magic? I'm going to throw on my eyebrows here. This my little Stacy. You made it. I'm like all this big thing for just one, but I'm going to throw on my, eyeshadow. I love this eyeshadow. This is Bird. I love using it for, my red hair for my eyebrows. It's great. I think that when you have, this is a great neutral color for anybody though. And I think that when you have red hair, people just assume that you want like orange eyebrows or something. And that's not the case. Let me tell you. So this is perfect. And let's see. Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. Like I said, I'm trying out stars. So if you can like hop on and send me some stars. I don't really understand it yet. I don't really know what it is, but basically Facebook is helping me create content. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So I'm just going to throw on my brows. My husband, I was driving with my husband the other day and he's like, can I just say something and just it not be hurtful? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, but I love it when I'm always like, talk to me, like be more emotionally available. Anybody else? And he's like, I just really like it when you fill in your eyebrows. I feel like they look really good. I'm like, that's not offensive. Thank you for telling me that. I'm glad he noticed, right? It's better than like not noticing. Oh, Ashley, just hang out with us all day. All right, there we go. First one done. So I fill them in pretty heavily because I have a good amount of eyebrows, and then I can just kind of get those like stroke looks. And then I brush with the other end of this magnificent brush that I love. This is a better brush, by the way. Ashley was asking, she was saying the last one was so pokey. This one is so soft. It's like, it's soft, but it's still thin. So I really love this one. Also, this is the new colors. It's so pretty. Hi, Irma. Hello. Okay. If you guys are just hopping on here, today we're doing Demi Colour, and I'm so excited to show you Demi Colour. I need to create a video of like before and afters, but for those of you who just want to just like have your makeup just look like, just look like you and just feel like you don't have to put on a full face of makeup every day just because, that's the process of makeup. Okay. So it's it can be a little bit intimidating when you look at it or even when you first get it, but this is a brand new product, never before seen anywhere else. And, it's not correctors, you guys. It's not foundation. It's basically just, it's like a story where you get to tell the story. You get to say, this is what I want today, and this is what I don't want today. And you just get to put on your best face, but it's you. It just looks like you. It doesn't look like, you know, cake face or something like that. So this is my Demi Colour kit. This is every color currently available. So it's a lot of colors. But then of course there's smaller. I feel like this one's like a little bit darker. It's okay. Sisters, not twins, right? Hi Ruby, you guys, I'm using stars today. So if you can give me some stars when you hop on, that would be awesome because I'm trying it out. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so this is the smaller palettes that they have. So you can definitely like work through smaller colors. Where's the other one? Where did I put it? Here we go. So you'll keep like what your favorites are. Okay. I love this. It's so pretty. It looks like a magazine. Okay. So then I have my brushes here. And what I like to do with these, I know these look like Skittles. But what I do with this is all based off of using the color wheel and neutralizing different colors. So what you're identifying in your face is you're going to be identifying excess color, and I'm looking everywhere for my color wheel because I am always losing it. And my little cat was running all over the place and knocking everything off my desk. Who's seen my cat yet? He's so cute. He's a Scottish Fold. Okay, I think I've identified where it is. Am I such a mess, you guys? Sorry. Ta-da! Okay, here you go. So it's using the color wheel. So anyone who gets Demi, did you see that, Stacy? Anybody who gets Demi, you'll get this little color wheel here. And what you're identifying is you're identifying different colors in your face, but you're identifying excess color. So it's really, really easy because all that you're doing is, and you don't have to like match this perfectly or something like that, but basically you can see that when you're looking at a color like this, I feel like everybody just assumes that everything's red and purple on their face, but we're talking about excess color, okay? Your skin's, you know, depending on the level of tone, it's kind of peachy, and so like for mine's kind of a peachy tone. And so, and so this isn't necessarily going to just be red. This is probably more of an excess, like there's excess red here, but there's a little more excess violet because there's some blue in there because it's a little bit darker. So you have your main colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. Yellow is so light. It's so bright. It's kind of like I have more yellow like in larger areas. So yellow is not a color that you're going to find a ton of times in areas that you want to neutralize. You're going to see more like these blues over here and those excess colors like up here under your eyes. So there you go. That's your big lesson there. And then anything that's going to be dark is going to be blue. There's going to be blue in it if it's that dark. And anything that's light and vibrant is going to have red in it. Okay. So I'm just going to start by sculpting because I think it's important to start with your contour or sculpt first because otherwise you're just going to like kind of go over it again and we're not layering anything. So I'm just going to choose a sculpt color that's going to kind of, I'm going to look here and see if I see any like excess color here. Obviously I see some excess like reds because I have my blemishes right here in this area, which is pretty common for me. I get them a lot right there on my cheek. And so I'm just going to sculpt with this tiny little brush. This is a trick that I learned that I love, is sculpting with a tiny brush so you can get it right where you want it. So all of these colors have different names. I've arranged mine in a color wheel so that it's easy for me to remember. But I'm only going to use just a few of these colors today on my whole face. So I need to rearrange it so it's not overwhelming to you guys. So because I see some red and some violet in there, I'm going to go into this greenish sculpt and I'm going to go right under here and just create that little cheek pop. You guys see, look, even just that little tiny bit that we all love to use with contour. But the cool part about it is that you can't even detect it. You wouldn't even see that there's anything on there. Okay, so just right there. And then I'm going to go to the other side over here. There is still some redness, but also some, like, it's more purpley. So I'm going to use this more yellow sculpt right there. Okay, and it's just going to pop those cheekbones. That's a little bit. Okay, and if you feel like with sculpt is tricky. So if you want to just start with just the brightener colors, you absolutely can. And there's little tiny kits that are just the bright bundles. That'll just use your most common one. And the kits go from light, medium to dark. So there's like bright 1, bright 2, and bright 3. I'm so janky with this nail. 1, 2, and 3. There you go. And so it's just tones. It's just your different tones, okay? And then you can always add to those kits. So don't be intimidated by that. And then I also have a little quiz, so you can take that so you can see which kit would be best for you. Don't skip on the quiz. It's so fun. I used a more blue one there because I feel like I'm really orangey. I'm getting into the orangey area. The orangey levels, I should say. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to use a blue green. And there you go. Now I'm going to take this bigger brush and I'm going to do the underside here. This is really blue under there. So I'm going to go to an orange sculpt. And like I said, I always do the sculpt first because I feel like if I do all of my brightening and correcting or whatever else that I'm doing, neutralizing or what's it called? Just editing. That's really the terms that they use for this. If I do all my editing after or before I've done my sculpt, then when I do my sculpt, I'm going to be washing it off. So, hey you guys, if you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're viewing from. And I'm using Facebook stars today. So if you want to leave me some stars as you like what you see, then I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so that's just kind of giving me that little pop right there. And I'm going to also do my nose contour. And again, you're just kind of looking at the shadowy colors and you're just working along those. Washington, D.C. Oh, Delaware girl over here. I was born in D.C. So cool. Here we go. Hey, Wendy. How you doing, friend? All right. So just a light contour of the nose there, light sculpting. And you guys, the differences with this are so subtle, it's hard to tell. So now I'm going to go around, I'm going to pick some distractions. Like, it's hard to tell because it's so subtle. So I don't even know if you guys can like get the full appreciation of the subtle beauty of just these little pops of color here and there. But it is just it's just so fun, and it's such a fun product. All right. So there you go. Good. What's going on? How's everybody's weather too? It's been some crazy weather. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to start brightening, and I'm going to choose just some distractions on my face that I want to neutralize, that I want to disappear. So that way my skin, my natural glow to my skin can really show through. And that's what I'm really going for today. So I'm going to start by applying a little bit of this gloss to my lips, kind of soften them. And then the distractions I'm going to pick is going to be obviously the blemishes that I have. I like to do my under eyes so I can brighten those up. And then I have some areas of a little bit of redness, like my chin's a little red. I feel like my cheeks and kind of under my eyes is a little bit red. That's pretty common for me, maybe a little bit around my nose. So I'm going to start with the most distracting distraction, which is obviously these blemishes that I have. And I'm taking this teeny tiny brush. Now I'm going to start with this one. It's the biggest, it's the brightest, and it's the most distracting. It's not all one color, especially because of how big that it is. So I'm just going to pay attention to this. It's very red to me. It looks like excess red. This is because this is an active blemish that's going on right now. So I'm not going to go straight to just covering the whole thing. I'm going to go to the darkest area of it first, okay? And I'm going to take that green, this green color that I have here, and I'm just going to pick up a little tiny bit of it, try to pick up a little bit of it. And I'm going to go on that area here. And I'm just dabbing a little bit. Okay, and I don't want to go outside that line. The very center of it looks kind of purpley. So I'm going to move over to a green yellow. Or technically it's violet. Look at that, you guys. How amazing is that? So this is a green yellow. So, and when you say green, whatever color is second is the color that's the base of it, okay? So it's a green yellow, which means it is, I'm gonna use this smaller compact because it's like heavy. Where are they? Here we go. And look at how that just disappears. And I've got that one blemish gone. And now I can kind of see the other areas that are darker. See how this like kind of popped up a little bit? And I can edit that, but it's so bright now. And that's what these little brightening kits will do, is that they just make it so that everything else shows up so pretty. So here we go. This is, all of this here is darker. So there's going to be more blue in it, which is going to mean it's a little more violet. So I'm just taking these tiny little sweeps of that YG. It's also light, so I know it's not completely blue. And then these are light and vibrant, these little spots here, which means they're red. So I'm going to use some green. Now I'm not going to attack too much here because I'm going to put some blush on because I love blush. But I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take these little spots that are red from the lovely breakout that I had this week. Do you guys have questions about this? Ask me some questions. All right, so you can see everything's kind of starting to brighten. Casey, isn't it so awesome? Everything's starting to brighten, and it's also starting to show me areas that I can go to next. That's why you always want to take care of the most distracting spots first, okay? This spot over here, it's also came around the same time as this one, but this one ended just yesterday and this one ended a little while ago. So, and you guys can see that sculpt. It was so light, but now you can kind of see it coming on there, huh? So this is still going to be, the center of it's really red. The outer part is a little more violet. So I'm going to put on some green right in this little speck here. Come on. It's either too much or not enough. It's magical, you guys. Not to mention, this is so fun. And I know it looks like it would take a really long time. Once you get the hang of it, it goes just as fast as my other makeup. So I'm so confused on the terms and how can a color be light and vibrant? So light as in there's not a lot of depth to it. Help me out here, Julianne. Tell me if I'm making sense. And I want to make sure that I answer your question. So it's light because there's not a lot of depth, but it's vibrant in that it is still, there's still a lot of color there. It's just not a deep pigment. Okay, does that make more sense? I hope. The center of this is kind of a scab color, which is going to be more of a green, which I know is confusing. But watch this. Put a little bit of this light red color on it and it disappears. There you go. Yes, and what I love about Demi is that you can love your freckles and you can let them show. If you feel like there's too many freckles, then you can just neutralize what you want. And so that way, because that's one of the biggest concerns I've seen with people. Okay, this little guy, these little blemishes are right in my sculpt line. So they're bothering me. And they're not completely covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just putting a little bit of that because they're still red, but they're also darker, which means there's some blue in it. Okay. I'm going to put that YG1. See if you guys can even see what I'm dipping in. If I do it here. Okay. Julianne says she feels like she would need the entire kit. Okay. So I'll finish what I was saying here. I'm doing YG1 and I'm just doing that right in my contour line because there's still green in there in my contour line and it wasn't covering up that red there, which means there's violet. So I'm using something with yellow. Okay, showing up. All right, so magic, that's disappeared. Let's get these little guys here. But first I'm going to put on some, actually I'm going to get these ones up here first. I'm going to put on some blush because, like I said, I like blush. And what's the point of me neutralizing and then redness when I'm going to be putting red in that area? The mascara line is called Saint now. They rebranded their entire company to Saint. So S-E-I-N-T, it's the Anglo-French spelling of Saint. And that's their new thing. Okay, so the kits are specifically formulated so that way you will have a good array of everything and then you can just piece in a couple things if you need to. Okay. Lots of people like to start just starting out with either a bright bundle or a bright bundle and a sculpt bundle, which is just 6 of each, like these brightening colors. And then you can kind of be like, okay, I need this and I need that. Because this one's not covering it and I don't want to mix it or whatever else. Okay. So that's what makes it really simple. So make sure you take the quiz and I'm here to help you through. So what I'm going to do for my blush today is I'm going to use another tiny brush, which we're used to when we do blush, right? Getting something like this. So I'm going to use a tiny little brush because I want to put it where I want it. I'm going to use this one because this is what I've been using for blush. Okay. And I'm going to use this I think it's RO5. And I'm just going to get it. I like it because it's peachy. Just going to get it on my brush like that. Yeah, you can still use the regular makeup as well. Totally. This is just another line. It's not, and it's just different, you know? So I'm going to put on my blush in that area. And can you guys see how as soon as I put the blush on, I uncover these blemishes here even more? So what would be the point of me doing it before? And what I've noticed about putting on blush is that instead of me going in the whole apple of my cheek, there's already some redness up here. So I get to choose where the redness is. And that gives me the apple of my cheek, but also doesn't make me look like clownish with blush. And this is just so subtle. And I'm going to go right down into my sculpt line there also. And it's so pretty. I love doing my blush like this. But again, you wouldn't even be able to see that I have any on my face, because it just looks so natural. And it just looks like you just have this flawless skin. And you can tell, obviously, that I'm wearing makeup, but you can't see the makeup. So you take the credit for your beauty instead of the makeup. This color is R07. Can you guys see it at all? I feel like I should take out the colors that I use so you guys can see. Who votes that I do that? So you guys can see how few of these colors I actually use. Is that good? Give me some hearts. Here we go. And then I used this one for sculpt, this one for sculpt, and this one. Turning them around. Maybe I should have waited until you guys voted so you are like, now we're sitting around on our hands. This is so different, you guys. I know it's really different and it's like, what in the heck is this? But it's so cool. It's so cool to watch it all come together. And like I said, it's so cool to me to watch your face take credit for the beauty and not your makeup. So these are the colors that I've used. And once I get into my under eyes, you're going to see me using a lot more of these colors here. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. All right, that's a surprisingly tiny amount. So now that I've got the blemishes pretty much under control, I'm already a Saint customer. Brenda, another representative, would always enjoy new face offering new ideas. If you will always notify me when you go live, I would appreciate it. You can turn notifications on. And you guys, if you like this video, like I said, I'm using Facebook stars. So if you could give me some stars, I don't even know how to do it. I have never viewed anybody with stars. If you could leave me some stars, that would be awesome, because this is a new beta testing thing and I want it to work out. I'm excited to see how it goes. All right, so now that I have this, you guys can see I have a lot of purple around here. And so I'm going to go in. It's actually, it looks like purpley, but it's going to be an excess of blue, okay? Because that's really what's going on here. Like I said, I already have peachy, but it's going to be an excess of blue. And so I'm using these orange and red orange colors because they're that blue plus my peachy skin, it kind of gets really green. So here we go. I'm going to get my orangey, my red orange, and then I have a red for any of the greenish areas, okay? So I've taken care of those two distractions pretty much, except I still have this redness here and this redness here. Now, the hardest part of this, absolutely hardest part of this, is realizing that just because this area is like, it looks like it's all one color, it's not. And when you have fair skin like I do, it's difficult to pick out the exact colors that it's the exact spots, right? Because it's just not a very big definition. So the easiest thing to do is just use this tiny little brush and just kind of dab in those darker areas, and then the other ones will pop out to you. Does that make sense? Especially it's my chin. I'm using it when I talk all the time. It's going to have a lot of blood flow to that area. So we're just going to kind of slip in here and just go at that. So the excess color here is going to be more of a violet, of a red violet. Come on, get the hair off of this. Annoying. So I'm going to use this yellow, because remember right here, if we're looking at a red violet, you're going to be looking over here at these areas, okay? Going right across. It's so easy. Learned it in kindergarten, right? We can do it again. So I'm going to go with the darker colors and see, and just kind of drag this along a little bit so I blend as I go. Like I said, using this tiny little brush is a great rule of thumb. Now I have some excess color here because I got a little bit much on my brush, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to dab at them. Whew, this is hard. It's like doing dental work while you're talking. All right, so I'm not blending because that will just defeat the purpose, but I do kind of go in and dab a little bit just to make sure it sets in there. So there's no color on the end of this brush. And then what happens is this area just starts to, that color starts to dissipate. See, I kind of flick it a little bit too. That color starts to dissipate and you start to get, okay, I'm getting a little more vibrant right here. So I'm going to a yellow green. Because it's light, but it's bright, vibrant, I should say. It's that red. All right, now that I've gotten that area, like I said, I've touched it, there's blood flow there, so I'm going to just give it a minute and come back when I want to, just to make sure I've taken care of all of that red. I'm going to get a couple other blemishes that are bright. And then I'm going to go right here with these ones. Look at that, how that just disappeared. Because again, these are in my blush line, so they were showing up. If you put the color on and it turns white, then you have the wrong color. Or if it turns a color, then you have the wrong color. And it's easiest to just wipe it off. That was too much color. Flawless. Okay, I'm going to go up in here into this blue area, wipe off my brush, and I'm going to come in and take this red orange color. So it's orange with a little bit of red, because this is getting kind of green looking. Okay, and then this is right here. Bright and vibrant, so that's red right there, which was adding to it. Look at that. Okay, and then I love that. I love when I back away and you just see how bright it looks. And then I'm going to take care of this bright red patch here. And then let's do the under eyes. Let's see. Ask me questions, you guys. Hey, Morgan. Hi. Morgan, ask me questions. I'm just getting that little patch. Have a little strawberry patch there. Okay, so now when it comes to under eyes, because that's my next feat, I'm gonna make sure that I take care of these areas, which I told you before is kind of red. And if I don't take care of those areas, then it's gonna make my under eye area look so much darker. So I'm gonna just pick out those really bright, vibrant areas that have like a lot of, and then the dark ones that have a lot of blue. Okay. And see how much, like the difference on this side here, how much brighter it looks already. Guys, if you're wondering what colors would be best for you, what kit would be the best size, take that quiz and we'll give you all the info. Okay. And I'll send you what will be best for you. So now when it comes to under eyes, it's easy to just be like, okay, I'm just going to slap a bunch of color on under here. But really what's making this look so crazy is just this line here and here. So you've got green, you've got blue, you have violet, and then you have some red right in the center. So I'm going to start by taking care of what's the brightest or what's the most distracting in that distraction area. Okay. And sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error, you know, where you're like, okay, I'm not really sure which color that was, that, you know, what color is this? And so sometimes it's trying it out. But again, identifying, is it dark? Then there's blue in it. Okay, so I should start over in the orangey. Is it bright and vibrant looking red, but it's not dark though? Then it's going to be more in the red category, and I should start over in the greens for neutralizing, right? Is it dark and vibrant? That's going to be more in the violet. So you'll start over into the yellow and orangey area here. Okay? Can we take the quiz? I'll be committed. Oh, yeah. Irma, go for it. Just take the quiz. The quiz is, there's no cost and there's no like commitment. All right. So there's a big blue vein going through here on this side. So I'm going to take, and it's just kind of making everything look dark. So I'm just going to take this brush and I'm going to take out that big blue vein. All right. And then I'm going to go right here in these areas that you can see are really bright. And look at how light that is. But now there's like green over here. So I'm going to take this pink, which is red. I shouldn't call it pink. Sorry. And I've kind of got the same thing on here, but it's really green looking. So I'm going to take a red for this vein. And then I have a red spot right here, which is a little ruby point. It's very red. So let's get it. And it doesn't really like bother me too much, which is nice, but you know, maybe it bothers you. Maybe you want it off. So it's like, it's just choose whatever you want. So I'm going to grab these under eyes here, which are pretty, this is pretty blue. So I'm using this orange. This is 01. And I'm just going to get it right on that spot. And then I'm going to do, this is really violet looking to me. Too much product. But I'm kind of going around that red that I put on to cover up the, well, sorry, it was green I put on to cover up the red. So I'm going around that red area where there's violet now. And a little bit right here. And now, like, do you see how it just brightens up that area? And like your eye looks lifted and it's so pretty, but it doesn't have a ton of like a, like it doesn't, I don't have makeup on. This isn't going to crease, you know, it doesn't look like I have makeup on in that way where it's going to just be like all this junk under there. And you guys, I truly believe this is the future of makeup, is just, like I said, I'm just going to blend a couple of these spots. They look a little bit spotty. I'm not blending. Gosh, I need to not say that I'm blending. I'm just blending in. Can you kind of see there's a little bit, like, I don't want any of the makeup to show. Have it have any texture. Okay. There you go. So bright, so pretty. All right, I'm going to take a little bit extra now of this Sculpt color, and I'm just going to lightly give a little balance to the jawline over here and on both sides, because I really like to sculpt these areas out. And what do you guys think so far? And then with Sculpt is one that you can totally layer. To build, I should say build. You can build color with that. Thank you, Shelly. And then I like to, even though I have my bangs down today, I like to get some color up here on my forehead. Not too much. Thanks, Wendy. You guys, this has, okay, so it looks like you have to be a fan, like a top fan to send stars. I'm still figuring this all out. I don't know what makes you a fan. It's probably just like being on my page and being so awesome. So I really appreciate it. I'm blushing. I'm getting hot, so I'm blushing in here. I'm like, don't blush. I'm making myself can't see the makeup. There we go. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Anything else? I'm trying to look in the light over here so I can see the natural light. Sorry, one second. But can you guys see that on my face though? How pretty that looks? Even when I'm getting a little closer like that, can really see let's see there. Like how just flawless that looks, but also how subtle and still looks like I have some pretty makeup on. I think so. I don't know. That's all I know is they offered me to try it. It's in beta testing right now. So it still looks like I have like makeup on and I still feel flawless, but I don't have the cake and it's still me. And like I said, I love this about it. I feel like that's the future of makeup, is for us to just be ourselves and be able to really embrace our true beauty and not feel like we have to look like some other standard of someone else's standard of beauty, right? And I think that's the hard part for everybody, is that when it comes to makeup, you know, and YouTube stars and all of that kind of stuff, you guys know that I love a more natural, neutral look. And that is because even though I've been doing makeup for, gosh, I don't know, I think we're getting close to 15 years. I've always enjoyed that natural, neutral look. And then like I'll do some fun eyeshadow and do some fun lipstick if I want to. And, you know, like putting on a new dress. But when it comes to covering my face, I don't think we should cover our faces. So, and skin looks the prettiest. And so the more skin that you can see, instead of trying to replicate skin and make your makeup look like skin, why don't you just show your skin? You know, that's the beauty of it. Absolutely, you can use Demi on your lips. I love using Demi on my lips. I'm like afraid I'm going to overwhelm you guys with showing too much, but let's show it, Denise, since you guys are here. And also, I appreciate so much you being here. I appreciate you supporting me, supporting my business, supporting me, spreading natural beauty and showing up as you are. So I just thank you guys so much. I'm going to use some, let's see. Let's use some Sculpt is what I like to do. I'm going to use, I have a lot of blue around my lips. A lot of violet. I don't want to make it disappear. I just want to, when it comes to my lips, I kind of just want to not have it look so blue, like I'm losing oxygen or something. So I'm going to use this red Sculpt that has more, it's going to have more of that orangey to it. And I'm just going to gently, because the less product you use, the better it's going to stay, you guys. So I'm going to gently sculpt around my lips because that makes them look bigger and it gives it a more defined look. And I just love that that's where we're going with makeup instead of harsh lines and cake and like, I want to eat cake, not wear it, right? That's the policy here. That should be my tagline. Eat cake, don't wear it. Okay, so look at how my lips are like, bam, with just a little sculpting to it. Because the prettiest color on your lips is your lips, because that's my natural color. So I'm going to just define my lips here. I'm going to use, where's my little multitasker? This is my multitasker from the 3D line. I am not using that end. Use this one here. Just to get right on my Cupid's bow. All right, what are your questions about Demi? You guys hit me with your questions. I will answer them all. You can message me. I know it's tricky. I know it's scary. But when you get it and you try it, you're just like, you feel like the most magical, you know, magician here doing all magical magician. That was really great. But you feel so magical because you are creating this. And then you guys, I've seen so many people cry. I got teary when I first used it because it's just you. You feel like it's you. It's the prettiest that you'll ever feel. Because when we look at ourselves in the mirror, it's so easy to go in and say, oh, there's this. Oh, I feel I have that. I don't look good because of this. I don't look good because of that. But when you go in and you see your skin looking so beautiful and you're the one who gets to tell the story, you're the one who says, don't love that. I'm going to change that up, you know? And I'm just like really admiring the sculpt contour. I'm going to turn like this. This is these are the colors that I used. Gosh, I would say probably the Angel Edit 1, 100%. And that's because the Angel Edit 1, I have, and the brushes too in the Angel Edit 1. The Angel Edit 1, I have fair skin, but I also don't have, like, I have plenty of pigment that I've been working with. See, now that I've like kind of let this calm down, I'm kind of like, I want that gone too. I have plenty of pigment that I'm working with, but it's a little more violet. What I don't have is like really dark things I need to edit. I think that most people with a lighter skin tone, and I don't mean fair like me, I mean just with even a lighter skin tone at all, I think most people will be in the Edit 1. The Edit 2 is for someone who has some serious like pigmentation things going on, who's fair skin. If you're fair skin, you'd have like some serious hyperpigmentation. That's different, okay? If you, or like really dark, and I know we all think our under eyes are so dark, but the Edit 1 will take care of most under eye things. And then you can just add one here or there if you have to. Like what we're doing with Ashley. She needs a yellow orange, so she's going to get those separately. It's really cool too, because once you get those areas, then the other ones show up, and then you're like, oh, okay, like this is a little bit more here and a little bit more there. The things that you didn't see before that now pop up once you just calm down that area a little bit. Right? Oh my gosh, I keep putting too much on. Any other questions? There you go. There you go. Cool. All right. And then, like I said, it's as much or as little as you want to add. And you can even use the sculpts for eyeshadows if you want to. I just thought it was really easy to just use Zion. I just used Zion on my face today. But thank you guys so much for watching. The eyeshadow color that I did for my eyebrows is Bird. The eyeshadow for my eyes is Zion. And then this is pretty much a Bright Edit 1 and 2, maybe. And then a Sculpt 1. Maybe. I need to figure that out for you guys. But again, my colors are not going to be your colors. And it's a little bit of trial and error just figuring it out. And then once you figure it out, like for me, I can get in here, do this in 10, 15 minutes and be done. So, okay. Irma wants a hair tutorial. You got it, Irma. You want it curly? You want it like this? Slept in or whatever else. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you want access to my VIP group, I will put a link in here so you can be in there. We do lots of fun games, giveaways, tons of giveaways, and then education, and we just have a great time in there. If you have any questions, please message me. I love chatting, and you guys are just the absolute best. So if you wanted more color, sorry, someone else asked about lips. If you wanted more color, I can definitely put more color on. I like using this one because it just is more of like a stain. It just deepens it. This one is a red violet. It's kind of like our color Black Cherry. Like I said, the less product, the less creasing, and the longer the staying power. Cool, huh? All right, you guys, thanks again so much. I will do some hair tutorials and all the fun stuff. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.